I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. We are continuing with Ezekiel again. This will be chapter 34. And remember, this section of Ezekiel, chapters 32 through 39, are all spoken or written in the 12th year of the captivity. So this is the year, maybe 18 months after the destruction of Jerusalem. The Lord reproves those shepherds who do not feed the flock. In the last days the Lord will gather the lost sheep of Israel. The Messiah shall be their shepherd. The Lord will make his gospel covenant with them. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherd feed the flocks? Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick. Neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away. Neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. And they were scattered, because there is no shepherd. And they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. My sheep wandered through all the mountains, and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Now we could say that the shepherds being spoken of here refers to the prophets, but I don't think so. Because remember, the bishop, now in the New Testament, bishops are called pastors. And why are they called a pastor? Because they are over the pasture, they are over the flocks. This is another term for shepherd. So when we're talking about the shepherds, I don't think we're talking about the prophets. I think we're talking about the priests, the local leaders, just like today. The shepherds of modern Israel are the bishops. Bishops and stake presidents, the local leaders. And I think that's who he's talking about here. I don't think he's talking about prophets. He's talking about the priests. Because at this time, the priests would have been over the local worship, the local congregations. Possibly Levites as well, but I think primarily priests, the descendants of Aaron. That's who we're talking about. And they're not doing their job. They're not teaching the law. They're not trying to reclaim those who have strayed from the path. They are oppressing and ruling over them, but they are not helping them. Verse 7. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd. Neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves, and fed not my flock. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. For thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I, even I, will both search my flock and seek them out. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people, and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountains of Israel, by the rivers, and in all the inhabited places of the country. I will feed them in a good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their fold be. There shall they lie in a good fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, saith the Lord. I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away, and will bind up that which was broken, and will strengthen that which was sick. But I will destroy the fat and the strong. I will feed them with judgment. And as for you, O my flock, thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, between the ram and the he-goats. Seemeth it a small thing unto you to have eaten up the good pasture? But ye must tread down with your feet the residue of your pastures, and to have drunk of the deep waters, but ye must foul the residue with your feet. And as for my flock, They eat that which ye have trodden with your feet, and they drink that which ye have fouled with your feet. So the shepherds are going to be judged for not guarding and caring for the flock. But in the last days, I'm actually not sure this is speaking about just the last days. And it's not talking about just on this earth either. This is the gathering of Israel, but there was an initial gathering. This is Christ. That thing says, I will do this. And so this gives me the impression that this is at least possibly another one of those dual prophecies. Because we know that after his resurrection, Christ visited all the tribes of Israel. He started with those in Jerusalem. But then he went to America and visited the Nephites. He went to the lost tribes. We know he went to multiple places. And as we will read in a short while in the allegory of the olive tree, it indicates that there were 4 general places, 4 places of gathering for the lost tribes that he went to. And he even says, in John, other sheep I have which are not of this fold, this whole thing tying together. He's going to all the tribes of Israel. And he's gathering them back in. That is what he does immediately after his resurrection. And I think that's what this is largely talking about. It is also talking about him going into the spirit prison and gathering those who are in the spirit prison and bringing them out, making it possible for salvation for the dead. But at the same time, it is also talking about the gathering of Israel in the last days, because he says they will once again feed on the mountains of Israel. So we have the gathering of Israel back to their homeland as well. All of this, I think, is being tied in together as the gathering of Israel and the work that Christ is going to do as the great shepherd of Israel. It was really quite fantastic. But let us continue. Verse 20. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, Therefore thus saith the Lord God unto them, Behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle, because ye have thrust with side, Because ye have thrust with side and with shoulder, and pushed all the disease with your horns, till ye have scattered them abroad. Therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey. And I will judge between cattle and cattle. And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. And I, the Lord, will be their God, and my servant David a prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken it. And I will make with them a covenant of peace, and will cause the evil beasts to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness, and sleep in the woods. And I will make them and the places round about my hill a blessing, and I will cause the shower to come down in his season. There shall be showers of blessing. And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land, and shall know that I am the Lord, when I have broken the bands of their yoke, and delivered them out of the hand of those that serve themselves of them. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beast of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen any more. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord, their God, am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord God. And ye are my flock, the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord God. Verse 28 reminds me of a hymn, but I can't remember which one. I'll have to look it up. That phrase, and none shall make them afraid, reminds me of the song, of the hymn, Now Let Us Rejoice, but I don't think that phrase appears in that hymn. I'll have to refresh my memory. But I like this is, now, when it says David is the shepherd, when it says one shepherd, even my servant David, this isn't talking about David himself. This is talking about Christ. This is Christ who inherits the throne of David. He inherits that. He is the next in line to inherit that throne. And when he comes back, he will reclaim that throne. So we're talking about Christ, not actually David. Other than that, this is largely during the millennium that this is going to happen. This won't happen before Christ returns. First of all, it says Christ will be their shepherd, so Christ has to be here. But Israel will not, the lost tribes are not going to return to the land of Israel until the time of the millennium. There's going to be too much war and destruction going on before that for anybody to return anywhere. But we'll leave that here, and we pick it up in Ezekiel 35, so we'll see you there.